So, Tommy, you can see on your screen the pace plane still has the smoke on. The racers are off to the right, lined up. Let's listen in and see if we can hear the pace plane talk to them as they line up, get ready to come down the chute.
Gentlemen, you've got a race.
There we go. The words we long to hear in the final time this week in the ultimate event, our real marquee event to cap it all off. The Steve Stavrakakis Unlimited Gold Race, and we're just about there, Rob.
Yes, we are, and here we are coming down the chute. They're headed for that guide pylon. Remember, they have to stay in their respective lanes until that point, and then they can turn left. And as expected in Dreadnought, Joel Swagger in race 8. Out front, making the first turn. Here he comes. Nice shot from our pylon cam.
Again, he has been invincible this week, but we have seen other ones that were seemingly invincible taken down during this day's racing. So anything can happen. Stay with this one.
So, Tommy, what happened earlier in an earlier race, in race 11, Brent Heisey came from the very last position, the farthest outside, and you see him here on our camera. He's jumped to second right at the start, and he's hunting down Dreadnought. We may well have a race here. Look how close this is getting. The other thing I want you to listen for, Tommy, as they come around is hear the difference between those massive engines in the Sea Furies and the engine in the P51. This is going to be something. But right now, Brent Heisey in Miss America is really making a race out of it. He is chasing down Dreadnought, and I'm not sure we expected that, but this is going to be a race.
Oh, man. We have seen this maneuver before from a couple of different pilots, and a couple of times it has paid off. We will see if it does for Dr. Brent Heisey.
Let's listen to him come by our pylon cam on the north end of the race course here. And there they are, headed around the north end of the course. Pylons 4, 5, and 6. Brent Heisey's up a little high, and I'm sure what he's going to do there is trade that altitude for speed. They're going to turn southbound, head into the Valley of Speed, Tommy. He'll put that nose down a little bit. There he comes. He's starting to descend. He's going to try to accelerate, get a run on Dreadnought, see if he can run him down, coming down as they head back to pylon 7, 8, and 9, coming right.
Well, if he can pull that off, it will be an accomplishment. Dreadnought has been so powerful all week long. And of course, this plane responsible for so many national championships.
Absolutely. You see Brent Heisey in Miss America continuing to stay a little bit higher. Now, I don't know if that's because of the wind and the turbulence or if that's just part of his strategy, but it's kind of like NASCAR when they run the inside lane or the outside lane. Right now, Heisey's taking that higher route. It is a little bit longer around the course, but he is making it work, and he is really not losing any ground. In fact, I think he may be gaining just a little bit. There you see Swagger and Dreadnought begin to pick himself up a little bit as he heads down around pylons 4 and 5. And this is a race, Tommy. Boy, this is something. I think that Brent Heisey may be just setting him up. You know, we've seen that strategy all week, too. Several laps, just watch your competitor out in front of you and see if there's an opportunity to pounce. He may be holding something back, something in the tank. We'll see.
Takes a lot of patience and discipline, but we've seen it work. And look at him, seems to be moving ever closer to Joel Swagger and Dreadnought.
Absolutely. As they come around those final pylons, headed back towards the home pylon, I'll tell you what, Heisey's making some ground on him. They're closer than they were last time, Tommy. Less than a second separating those two past the steel home pylon that time, Tommy. Spectacular.
Just a fraction of. He's keeping that altitude there. He's keeping that in his back pocket. That means he's loading up something that will give him some extra power at the ultimate moment when he chooses to make his move.
And just remember, Tommy, we talked about the complexity of these aircraft. These are aircraft engines that are running at the ragged edge of their ability to hold together. So those pilots are having to watch those oil temperatures, the manifold pressures, all those things in addition to flying. It's not just look out the window and fly around the pylon. These aircraft, incredibly complex, and it happens nowhere else but here at Reno at the National Championship Air Races.
Race 114, Sherman Smoot currently in second place right now.
Here you see
Sanders in fourth.
Great cockpit shot out of race 31, Dan Vance, and you see our leaders in the split screen off to your right. That race battle continues to be very tight up front. Here we get a full screen of it, and they've begun to lap some traffic there on the bottom. But Heisey is certainly keeping pace with Dreadnought.
Coming by, Dan, on the outside.
Coming by, Dan.
Keeping as high up there as he possibly can and staying with that scheme.
And there you see our leaders past race 31, Dan Vance right there. Have to pass on the outside. And both of them, you can see the speed difference, significant speed difference with our two leaders. Great shot of Miss America in race 11, Brent Heisey there. And he continues to just stalk Dreadnought in race 8, Joel Swiger. Those two are very close together, and Heisey is gaining ground every lap, Tommy.
We are well past the halfway point of this race right now, and Joel Swiger having a tougher time than he has had all week long, facing more of a challenge than he has.
Yeah, and I don't think, not sure that the Sanders family and Joel Swiger and Dreadnought expected to have Brent Heisey in their hip pocket today, and they certainly do. And this is a definite challenge. And boy, Tommy, this is so exciting. We are counting down the laps, and we are getting to the point where we're going to crown a champion. Wow. They're going to come back to our pylon cam as they head north towards the foothills in the northern part of our course. Look how close those two are, Tommy. I mean, they are virtually side by side.
Well, Swiger won in Dreadnought the national championship back in 2018. Dennis Sanders won it the last time they met in 2019.
Here you see both of our leaders passing race 2, Bernie Vasquez and Goldfinger in the F-51 down low. And the speed difference continuing to outpace some of the slower aircraft, but these two are pacing each other exactly. Heisey continues to take that higher line, and I'm wondering if at the end that will be, let's save it up for that last chance and make the dive and accelerate, because they certainly are staying matched right now. You know, we talked earlier about this being Reno. Hold your cards close to the vest. We'll see what happens, but we are getting down to the last few laps here, Tommy.
It may well happen in the last lap, Robin. And oh man, meantime, it's still a terrific battle between these two.
Our leaders now, you can see in the camera shot there, they're coming up on more late race traffic. Those are the other two Hawker Sea Furies with race 114, Sherman Smoot, and race 924, Dennis Sanders are being passed now by our leaders. There you see Dreadnought coming around the outside. It's a great shot right here. And look who's right there with him. When the camera picks out here, you'll see up high, there's Heisey in Miss America, continuing to stay right with Joel Swiger in race 8 and Dreadnought. This is some kind of exciting, Tommy. I tell you what, wow.
We are just seconds away from the bell lap, the white flag lap. To decide this thing, we're looking for a national champion here in our marquee event, the Unlimited.
White flag, white flag.
All right, it's on now, the white flag lap, and now we've got Brent Heisey. Let's see what he's got. If he's got something left in the tank for Swiger. Swiger continues to hold it out there, but Heisey's a little higher, and he is rolling. Now's the chance that it's all out. I guarantee you, both of those aircraft, they're maxed on power, they're maxed the torque, everything that engine will do, they're pushing it to the absolute limit. You can see they're beginning to catch up on race traffic. That's race 44, Brant Seghetti in Blondie. So the race traffic, the lap traffic may come into play as they pass him here. They're going around pylons 4, 5, and 6 for the last time, Tommy.
That's the story right on your screen right there. Dr. Brent Heisey above. He can trade that altitude for speed. Would it be enough, though, to run down Joel Swiger and Dreadnought?
Well, here they come. They're in the valley of speed. You see the wings come level. They'll drop the nose. They'll accelerate as fast as they can. Let's see if he can get him. This is the point. Can the P-51 catch the Sea Fury?
Well, here they come.
All right, pylon 7, 8, and 9. Here we go. Hand me to it, Tommy. Oh! Didn't get there. They almost got it. There comes, oh, wow.
Another gold, another national championship for Dreadnought. How about that race?
There we go. Golly, and here we are back on board with race 31 and Dan Vance coming across the line there. You see more of our Sea Furies as the rest of the competitors finish the race. Here's 924 with Dennis Sanders, our defending champion from last time. He finishes there. Wow. Whoo, I can almost breathe now, Tommy. I'll tell you what, that was some kind of exciting. Boy, man, if you like to see airplanes, you like to see racing, they have delivered here today. It is spectacular.
Well, those two squared off in the center of the ring early on. I mean, in the first few seconds of this race, and it was on.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody expected to see that out of Miss America. And we saw him do that earlier in the week.
He did.
He took that outside lane, and he just outruns everybody down the chute where they're allowed to accelerate. He just can't turn in, but he gets far enough in front that he can make the turn, and he rolled in right behind Dreadnought. So let's go back and take a look at it, Tommy. We'll watch the race here again from the start.
Brent Heisey, of course, you mentioned that race that Heisey was in earlier. That was a lower class race. That maneuver is what put him in the gold class on this very special race right here. And here it is again for you, the condensed version, and your leader all week long, dominating Joel Swagger and Dreadnought.
Right, here you see Dreadnought coming around the guide pylon for the very first time, and right behind him already is Brent Heisey in Miss America in race 11. I mean, he jumped to second right out of the box, and then it was like this most of the race. You see the distance here in the early laps. It was a little farther, and the entire race he was able to gradually reel Swagger back in. The Dreadnought's really not been under fire for years, Tommy, honestly, like it was today from Brent Heisey. Another great shot. Just love that engine sound of these aircraft engines. I mean, so complex in racing around at 500 miles an hour, 50 feet off the deck here at Reno. Look at this spectacular shot as they're coming up on lap traffic with Goldfinger down in the bottom and Dreadnought and Miss America passing. And they hear.
Yeah, you kept thinking, this is Dreadnought. He's going to pull away at any second. He's going to make this thing moot. That did not happen.
No, Heisey's team in Miss America, what a great support from them. And look, there's your finish. And Miss America almost got him. So here's our unofficial results, Tommy.
Yep, Joel Swagger, another gold, another national championship for Dreadnought, race 8. Brent Heisey coming in second place, race 11, and what a fantastic strategy, what a great scheme. Just fell a little short at the end. Sherman Smoot, race 114 in third place. Dennis Sanders, 924, the former national champion, in fourth place. Bernie Vasquez and Goldfinger, race 2 in fifth place. Dan Vance, Speedball Alice in sixth. And Brant Seghetti, race 44 in Blondie, in seventh place.
Absolutely, man. What an exciting day. What an exciting week. And just a reminder for our fans, these are unofficial results.
Yep.
The pylon judges that we talked about are all sending their information in. Race control evaluates everything that they have to look at as well. So if there were by chance a penalty, then that may or may not adjust the results. So that's why they're unofficial. But here you see another great live camera shot out of Dan Vance, Speedball Alice, the P-51D Mustang, race 31. Great onboard cam shot there.
All of our Unlimiteds now getting into the regular traffic, doing their approach for the final landing of this special week here. And I know that you were looking forward to, we all look forward to it, and we've been looking forward to sharing it with you because you're so knowledgeable about all of this. And man, I can't say enough about how fun it's been to share your enthusiasm.
Well, thanks, Tommy. I appreciate that, and it has been my honor to join you. Legend here at the Reno National Championship Air Races and the professionals at JM Associates that put this on. Really, it has been a real pleasure of mine. But, man, we have seen some racing, Tommy, in all these classes. We've seen them here today in the gold classes. The biplanes, unfortunately, got blown out a little this morning, so we got to see what turned out to be the gold race for them yesterday. And all week long, we have just seen the ultimate in American racing, competitive folks in all the different classes. They're so widely varied here, but this is it's not just a phrase. This truly is the fastest motorsport on the planet, and all these